the Week 16 recap. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the playoff picture. Well, we'll start with the AFC first. We're looking at number 1 seed. We have Tennessee. Number 2, the Chiefs. 3, the Bengals. 4, the Bills. 5, the Patriots. 6, the Colts, and 7, the Chargers. Teams that are still in the AFC are the Raiders. They're sitting at 9-7. The Steelers still have a chance.
Yeah, it all depends on this
depending
game
on the game that's going on tonight that we have playing on the TV there. They're sitting at 7-1, and that game against Detroit really just kind of came back and kind of just bit them in the ass, right?
Yeah.
Because they're sitting at that one.
Yeah, that tie.
That one tie. Yeah, and then the Ravens. 8-8.
I think they're
huge
out.
disappointment for me.
They're like a 5% chance.
It looks like they're out. I really thought Lamar Jackson was really going to put things together, especially when they won early on against the Chiefs. You remember that game?
Yeah,
where
and they went toe to toe, and I was very impressed in that game.
Toe to toe with them,
but
Lamar was looking like an MVP again that game. That game also, remember that was the game that Jackson Mahomes spilled water on those Baltimore fans.
We're done. I'm not talking about Jackson Mahomes anymore. You got my 10-minute rant last week, right. 2 weeks ago. We're done with that. But I mean, the Ravens. They need the Colts, Browns, Chargers, and Dolphins all to lose on top of them winning next week just to make it. And I don't think that's happening.
So they need some help, big time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe, but the Colts got the Jags.
What other possibilities are there? Because
really in the AFC, that's it. I mean, you can dive down into. The Bengals still have a shot at the 1 seed.
They do, yeah.
Let's see here.
Who's Tennessee got next week?
The Tennessee has the Titans. I think Tennessee locks up the 1 seed.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason they lose to the Texans, don't even pack your bags for the playoffs.
Really?
Like, come on.
That's
true. You should not be losing to the Texans.
Yeah. The Texans with the worst tanking job of all time.
Don't know how to tank. But I mean, didn't the Jags do that shit a couple years ago too, or last year? They couldn't. They don't know how to tank.
The Jets.
Yes, the Jets
last year.
The Jets they missed
because
out.
Remember it was almost official that they were going to have the first overall pick and that they were the ones that were going to have Trevor Lawrence.
Then they lose, and now they got what's his face?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, scrub.
Let's look at the NFC. So we have the Packers at number 1. They're at 13-3. The Rams number 2 at 12-4. The Bucks sitting at 12-4 at number 3. The Cowboys 11-5, sitting at number 4. The Cardinals at 11-5. They're in 5th. And the 49ers and the Eagles 6-7, with both records at 9-7.
Yeah. So the Eagles are in. They're locked in, even though that they're the 7th seed. It's kind of weird. They're locked in,
right?
Because of strength of schedule and NFC conference games.
Yeah.
The Niners aren't locked in at the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles can bump to 6, and the Saints bump to 7 if the Niners lose and the Saints win. And that's a huge game for the Niners because they're at the Rams, who are rolling right now. Saints have Atlanta. They should be able to beat Atlanta. But I mean that's a huge one.
But with this year, you never know.
You never know.
With the way the games have been turning out, we've had upsets, we've had no surprising wins, but you never know.
I think that's really in the NFC in Week 18. That's really the only thing that's going to be interesting. That Saints and Falcons game and the Niners and Rams. Everything else is fairly straightforward. I don't see any of those other teams losing. I think all the seeds are basically locked in.
It's going to be interesting because the Saints and the Falcons, you never know. And then with the Niners and the Rams, the Niners have already beat them earlier this year, and the Niners have had the Rams number since Kyle Shanahan and McVay have been there.
Yeah, you could, if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks, the Rams lose to the Niners. The Rams are now a wild card team.
Yeah,
and the Cardinals win the division. So that's, that's. It's toss up there. I'm really interested in the Chargers Raiders game Sunday night. That's going to be.
Who do they got?
Chargers and Raiders.
Oh, Chargers and Raiders. That's essentially a playoff game too.
It's a win and in.
Yeah,
it's a win and in for both teams. Although the Raiders need a little bit more help. They need a Colts loss or a Steelers loss in Week 18. If even with them beating the Chargers, Chargers just got to win and they're in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find myself rooting for the Raiders a lot more now.
Really?
Only because Derek Carr. I'm very loyal to Fresno State players.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of even mentioning
you're
his
a hater.
name. Yeah.
You're a Niner fan and a Fresno State hater.
Or I'm not a Fresno State hater.
You are.
I can't stand the Raiders. I can put up the Cowboys a little bit more. I just can't stand Raiders.
What?
The Cowboys have been okay to me.
You know, I get it. I mean, they're both Bay Area teams for the longest time.
Yeah.
Can't catch me rooting for the Eagles or the football team or the Giants. No.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're coming from, but it's going to be an interesting week. Week 18.
Week 18.
That's
man.
for sure.
First,
I would love to see the Bengals take that 1 seed. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
They need a lot of help. Titans, Chiefs, Patriots, and Bills. All need to lose. Yeah.
But it's a long shot, but we'll see. Tennessee is looking scary, man. The way they beat up on the Dolphins. They won against the Niners the week before. They didn't really play all that great.
They didn't play great. I mean, they got A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown went off
and
had the best game of his career, but against a really weak secondary that the Niners have.
I think that's a huge fault for the Niners.
Their
secondary is
really
very
weak secondary. None of their DBs can cover one-on-one with any receiver. I mean, even the week before, they were giving up plays to Kyle Pitts from Atlanta, and then it was embarrassing. Like, it's been all year the same thing. The only player that they've been able to really lock down was Odell for the Rams. That's been it. And then even Cooper Kupp scored that game too. So
Cooper Kupp scoring against everyone.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see how that goes with Tennessee. Derrick Henry might be back. It's looking
really.
Like
I thought he was done for the year.
No, he might be back. He might actually be able to be healthy enough and make a run in the playoffs. So if they get him back with the way that A.J. Brown is playing right now, watch out, dude.
Yeah, because that would mean that assuming that they win this game this week, they won't have a game for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah.
That's good for Derrick Henry,
yeah.
assuming that he can make it back.
If he can make it back, and it's looking that way, So no wear and tear of the season, so he'll be healthy and he'll be fresh. They'll get their
legit. They're
back.
A legit 1 seed if they can get Derrick Henry back. Only if he can compete to Derrick Henry level.
Yeah, because he's not going to come back fully fit and fully informed. Yeah, he's probably going to be out of shape. So he'll probably be on a pitch count. Say if they make it past the first round of playoffs, if they're able to make a little run and get Derrick Henry back in form by the time they get to the divisional round.
For sure.
We'll see. You never know. So, yeah, that's it with the playoff picture. It's going to be very interesting.